Thank you very much for staying with us on Politics Tonight. Recently, there have been recurring bandit attacks in some areas of Zamfara state. But in response to these recurring attacks, the military has deployed more troops to the state last weekend in its efforts to thwart operations of bandits in the volatile areas of the state. Tonight, let's get right into this conversation by speaking with former Commissioner of Information in Zamfara state, Honorable Ibrahim Dosara, and some insights into how precarious the situation has become. Honorable, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight.
Good evening, Olajumoke. How are you? It's nice to have me in the studio today.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, in the words of Governor Dauda Lawal, Zamfara has become the center of banditry as we speak today. And if nothing is done in Zamfara state, I don't think we will be able to solve the solution, or rather the situation in the entire northern Nigeria. This is not the first time the governor is speaking in this tone, Honorable. And to many Nigerians, this looks like another call for help, isn't it?
Yeah, well, very surprisingly, when Dauda Lawal was campaigning, he told the people of Zamfara state that security will be his first priority. And we all expected that, and we prayed for him for success. But unfortunately, when he took over power from us, the situation deteriorated more than when we handed over the power to him. This is because Dauda Lawal did not make any concrete arrangement to focus on tackling the insecurity in Zamfara state. One, he has not been staying at home. He has been shuttling from one country to another and left the state in the hands of consultants, administrators who have no knowledge of the people of Zamfara state, who have no knowledge of the terrain in Zamfara state, and who have no knowledge of political and economic factors in Zamfara state. And this is why he has never been successful, and the situation continues to deteriorate. And Dauda Lawal also decided to cave himself instead of him to go out and liaise with the Ministry of Defense, let them know his problems and let him know their challenges and cooperate together to fight the banditry head on. But he refused simply because of political differences. And this is why the situation in Zamfara continues to deteriorate in terms of security. It is also escalating from Zamfara state to other states. If people are abducted, you find that it is Zamfara that will get them. And if people are killed, you find that it is Zamfara state. Today, it has reached the level that people are being abducted inside the state capital, and without nothing being done to ensure the safety of lives and property of the people of Zamfara state. So this is very unfortunate.
Honorable, it's interesting to hear you list some reasons why you think Governor Dauda Lawal has not been successful, because to others, he has made efforts. And he has also said that despite all efforts by his government to end the criminal activities in the state, bandits continue to have a field day in several council areas. Because I remember in January, he inaugurated over 2,000 community protection guards. I mean, he has also met with President Tinubu for collaborated efforts to end the scourge. He also inaugurated a security trust fund. I mean, yes, the governor has done a bit, but why have these efforts not yielded the desired results?
Like I said, his inability to stay in the state is one of the basic factors that led to his failure in tackling insecurity in the state. There is no how for a governor having a state, volatile state, having insecurity, will be leaving the state completely. He can be absent for 2 weeks, sometimes 1 month, the governor will not be in the state. How will you tackle insecurity with that attitude? When former Governor Mutawale was there, he inaugurated a committee he called Situation Control Committee. I am a member in that committee, and in fact, I was the secretary to the committee, and we liaise with all security agencies. Whatever their need was, we attend to it. Whatever problems comes up, we attend to it. And they feed us with intelligence, and we liaise with the communities, various communities, and that was how we became successful. And when Mutawalli came on board, he decided to invite all stakeholders, listen to their views, and work with the views. And that was why within his 100 days in office, there was no single attack in Zamfara state. Not until when conflict entrepreneurs, which can be divided into two, those on political ground and those on economic ground, decided to torment him, putting him all necessary pressure, trying to fool him down because of either the economic reason or either the political reasons. And notwithstanding, Mutawalli gave the bandits certain deadline to hand over, after which he took them again with another method that he fought them head on. And that was why Mutawalli left Zamfara state better than the way he met it. Only for Dawda Lawal to come and make the whole thing to deteriorate.
Honorable, when you say former Governor Bello Matawalle left the Zamfara state better than he met it, that's very arguable for some people. But let's quickly talk about these two allegations you've raised. You've said, one, that one of the reasons for this escalating security tension in Zamfara state is because the governor has been an absent governor. Are you saying a governor cannot hand over to his deputy for a few days to attend to some matters outside the state, which is, constitutional, by the way? So when you say the governor has been absent, what do you mean?
Yeah, you see, there are certain issues that can come from the security side that the governor needs to listen to it and take prompt action against it. But unfortunately, the governor has never been very much available all while, and the security men are left with no options. They are left helpless. So this is why I said his absence has contributed immensely to the escalating of the insecurity in Zamfara state. If he had been around all along, listening to the community leaders, listening to the security, and taking prompt action, giving money where necessary, so that the needful can be done, will be done, and the security situation wouldn't have been the way it is today. But simply because he is always absent, then the problem continues to persist.
But that's still very confusing, Honorable Dosara. It's still very confusing. I still want to understand why you say that when the governor, the absence of a governor in a state for 2 weeks escalating security in the state. It's still very confusing.
There is nothing like confusion, Olajumoke. You see,
so I asked that question because, Honorable, kindly hold on. I asked that question because I remember about a year ago when 84 persons were kidnapped in Magazu village. The administration of former Governor Bello Matawalle, where you served as commissioner, says it will not bow to pressure from bandits because the administration of Governor Bello Matawalle didn't also have it easy. These were your words, Honorable Dosara. So if your government had it this tough, why do you think it should be easy or easier for Governor Dawda Lawal?
Well, like I said, when Dawda Lawal was campaigning, he was criticizing us. He said we didn't do anything, and he wondered why certain group of people are more powerful than the government. So somebody who has this notion, somebody who criticizes predecessor in this ground, is expected to do a very surprising thing, to do more than what he is doing today. But unfortunately, he couldn't do that. Instead, the previous government was far better than the present administration in terms of fighting insecurity in the state. So it is a surprising thing, very seriously. And Like I told you, if he has been very serious on the fight against banditry, the situation wouldn't have been the way it is today.
Okay, so I get that this is you clapping back and expecting him to do more since he criticized your own administration. All right, so you've also said or insinuated that the fight against banditry in Zamfara State is not a one-man show. Does this mean that there are concerned stakeholders who have offered to help the governor fight this, but the governor has rejected this?
Yes, I can tell you categorically that the Minister of State for Defense has been offering to give help. The whole Ministry of Defense was directed by the President sometime when the Federal University students were abducted. The President directed the ministers to meet the governor, discuss and see how to rescue the students. Unfortunately, the governor refused to see them. And up till this time I'm talking to you, the governor refused to meet with them, discuss with them on all this. So no matter how much the Ministry of Defense want to help the government of Zamfara State to fight insecurity, there is limited efforts they can do because there is no cooperation from the government on ground. So this is it. But the Ministry of Defense has been doing all it could. The President has been doing all he can to ensure that the banditry in Zamfara State and indeed the whole Northwest is dealt with. But because the government of Zamfara State is not giving cooperation to the Ministry of Defense, by extension, the defense headquarters, there is limited thing they can do. So that is the basic problem. And like I said, we have also politics inside it. The politics is that the government of Dawda Lawal is seeing anybody outside the government as persona non grata in terms of helping to deal with the security situation. So, and that is why I'm saying the government of Dawda Lawal is a kind of one-man show in the fight of banditry. He needs to sort the cooperation of the whole state in terms of society, the communities, the community leaders, the religious leaders, the banditry, I mean the Fulani leaders and other stakeholders to sit and give him the real advice that he will follow to deal with the situation. But instead, he has seen everybody as an enemy and is not ready to work with each one of them to deal with the situation, the insecurity situation in the state. And this is a very serious problem that hinders the fighting of the insecurity.
Honorable, at the same time, this is a very serious accusation, and I sincerely hope that the governor or any of his representatives would come and tell us their own side of the story. Because if you're categorically saying that the governor of Zamfara State is choosing politics over the safety of his people, we need to also hear from the governor, because it has been very interesting and sad at the same time that many have wondered what the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, who is a former governor of the state, is doing to, help the governor overcome this nightmare. Persons have said, irrespective of the animosity between both parties, many believe the former governor should, as a matter of necessity and love for his people, do all he can to contribute to seeing this nightmare go away. But now that you're accusing the governor of rejecting any collaborative efforts by the Minister of State for Defense to help him in conquering this battle, it's quite ridiculous, and we must hear from the other side as well. But also, could you also tell us what exactly... Right, so what do you think when you say Minister...
Hold on. Right. You see, I can tell you categorically that there was a time when myself and the Chief of Staff to Governor Dawda Lawal met in Abuja here and looked at the security situation, and he said if I can convince Bello Mutawale, the Minister of Defense, to sit with Dauda Lawal and discuss the insecurity situation, that would have been good. I told him Dauda Lawal will not agree. He said I should leave him with Dauda Lawal. He will convince Dauda Lawal to agree for the meeting, and we arranged for the meeting. We spent the whole 2 days without sleeping trying to ensure that the two met and discussed. But at the end of the day, when it reached the level of the governor writing a letter to the Ministry of Defense, his political cycle prevented him and stopped him from that project. So this is why I can give you a categorical statement. Mutawale agreed and accepted. In fact, he was going abroad for an official engagement, but suspended that, waiting for the letter to come so that the two of them will meet. But Governor Dauda Lawal refused. So this is why I said I have concrete evidence and reason to say that he is not willing to take any support or assistance from the Ministry of Defense, simply because his person, his predecessor, is in the ministry as Minister of State.
I get that, and that's why I said we would also like to hear from the governor's side. But because insecurity in Zamfara State didn't start today, didn't start with the administration of Governor Dauda Lawal, I'd like you to help us. I mean, there are those out there still wondering if this escalating insecurity is still about resource control.
You see, the insecurity in Zamfara State can be, or the persistence of the insecurity in Zamfara State can be seen in two factors: economic and political factor.
Okay.
The economic factor, like I said earlier, is having to do with conflict entrepreneurs. Those people buying and selling the necessities and the needs of the bandits. They always try to form network of informants. They also, people who are selling these weapons, guns, bullets, they all escalate this situation. They never want the insecurity to be dealt with. So unless otherwise we come together to fight the conflict entrepreneurs, the situation will continue to escalate. The political factor which is contributing to the persistence of the insecurity in the state is the disunity of the politicians, especially the big politicians, who are always after pulling down their brother on board. For instance, when Abdulaziz Yari was governor, I was with him, and I knew the effort he put to fight insecurity in the state. But because some politicians out there, those who are not happy with him, even though they are in the same political party, were fighting him. If you could recall, Abdulaziz was so much frustrated one day to say that he has stepped down from his position as the chief security officer of the state. He did it out of frustration, not because he wanted to say that. And if you could recall, when Abdulaziz Yari was governor, Mansur Dan Ali was the Minister of Defense. But because some people out there didn't want Mansur Dan Ali to be at the Minister of Defense, they kept on petitioning him so much that he could not do anything to deal with the insecurity situation in the state. And the same thing, when Mutawale Noun was the governor, they were doing all they could to ensure that they destroy him. So much that Mutawale had to initiate an effort to unite the politicians together so that they will come as a family to look at the insecurity situation in the state, to deal with it. But some people out there refused. If you could recall, Mutawale had to go house to house to beg for the political gladiators to come together as a party, which led him to decamp from his own political party to go to the National ruling party so that they can move together to fight the insecurity he was fighting in the state. But the disunity among the politicians could not help matters. Now, Mutawalli is now the Minister of State. They are now petitioning him. So many people are being set to go to EFCC, to go to presidency, to go to assembly, to petition him. All they are after is let Mutawalli be removed from the Ministry of Defense when we are having insecurity, so much insecurity in the state. So this is the political factor that is contributing immensely to the continuous escalation of the insecurity in Zamfara state. So unless the people, the political gladiators in Zamfara state unite together to see themselves as one entity, to fight common goal, this insecurity situation in Zamfara state will continue to persist. And like I said, on the economic aspect, the conflict entrepreneurs must be dealt with squarely so that we have a greater success in dealing with the situation.
All right, Honorable, we'll come back to
the basic and fundamental facts which must be put into consideration for the insecurity in Zamfara state to be dealt with.
Now, we'll come back to the economic factor, but let's stay on this unity amongst the big political wigs in Zamfara state who are so disunited at this moment. Help us clarify this. Does this have anything to do with the sentiment out there or the narrative out there that Governor Dauda and his predecessor, Bello Matawalle, cannot agree on this because the governor is being forced to negotiate with bandits while, I do apologize, the former governor, Bello Matawalle, is asking the governor to negotiate with bandits, but the governor says these guys must be crushed. How true is this?
Well, Matawalle has never asked Dauda Lawal to negotiate with bandits. Matawalle has tried his reconciliation when he was governor with the bandit. Like I told you, he was successful. 100 days was witnessed without single attack or abduction in Zamfara state. But like I said, the conflict entrepreneurs and the politicians out there sabotaged his efforts. But never deterred by that, he continued to came up with so many methods to deal with it. And if you could recall, there was time when Mutawalle himself said there was no more negotiation with the bandits. He fought them. If you could recall, there was a time when Mutawalle put his own style of state of emergency, where he declared 3 months. He shut the state for 3 months, no communication, nothing. And at that time, the bandits were coming down requesting for reconciliation, and he said no. And he was fighting them at their enclaves. That time, bandits were looking for food anywhere, so much that many of them were taking leaves to survive. So you can see how somebody can be dogged in fighting the insecurity. But a situation where you said, okay, I'm not negotiating and I'm not staying at home and I don't have any solid structure on ground to fight for me, then I don't think he is doing justice to the people of Zamfara state.
All right. But as a stakeholder, Honorable, how do we end insecurity in Zamfara state?
Like I said, the political gladiators must come together. How do they come together? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been sitting with them, talking to them to unite together. They should listen to the president. They should not have this mentality of, if not me, let Zamfara lose. That is the mentality of our political gladiators in Zamfara state. And this is why we are suffering. So let the president call the political gladiators in Zamfara state, sit with them, give them time, and ask them to reconcile so that they can benefit from the government. And two, let the communities sit, or rather the governor of Zamfara state sit with the communities, let him identify and understand the conflict entrepreneurs, including those selling fuel, those selling Coca-Cola and Maltina. Let me tell you, a bottle of Maltina in Gusau is being sold at 250 naira. But if you take it to Zurmi or Shinkafi, it is being sold at 1,000 naira because of the bandits requirement. So those people selling Maltina will never like the banditry to come to an end. And those selling these weapons to the bandits will never like this banditry to come to an end. Those selling food, bread, and other necessary items like petroleum, they will all not like this banditry to come to an end. So the governor must sit down with the community leaders, understand and identify these conflict entrepreneurs, then deal with them squarely. And then on the other hand, like I told you, let the president sit with the political gladiators, let them understand the danger of the disunity they have among themselves, and let them understand the damages they cause to the people of Zamfara state, because it is the poor people that are being suffering. Let me tell you, for example, the Minister of Defense was able to secure some appointments for the people of Zamfara state, especially the APC who helped President Tinubu won election in the Northwest. But those political gladiators, like I told you, who are not ready to see the progress of the minister, have been fighting against this appointment. And up till today, Zamfara state has never gotten one appointment under this administration, simply because the political gladiators are not united. Each one is fighting each other. They are fighting the minister because he is minister, and why should he be? So that mentality of, if not me, let everybody lose, is the problem that is facing the people of Zamfara state, and indeed is so inimical.
All right,
to the
Honorable
entire
Dosara.
community of Zamfara state, especially the APC members who suffered and campaigned for the president. Like
all right,
me,
then. Now,
I was the chairman of the Tinubu campaign in Kebbi State. I was there. The governor received us, and we worked with him to ensure that we coordinate with Bello Mutawale, who is the Northwest coordinator for the success of Tinubu. And up till today, we have been looking for appointment to be given to these people we worked with who suffered, and because of
Honorable
the political
Dosara,
gladiators
when we
in
come back
Zamfara
from this break,
are not happy
we will
with it.
continue this conversation. Can you hear me, Honorable? Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we will continue this conversation. You're watching Politics Tonight, everyone. I'll be right back.
In Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made,
and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini, I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Honorable Ibrahim Dosara, former Commissioner for Information, Zamfara State, is our guest tonight. And tonight we're focused on Zamfara politics and insecurity. Honorable, thank you so much for staying with us on the program. Now let's move on with this conversation quickly. I would like to know what's your take on negotiation with bandits. Do you think, yes, you've said the president should speak with his political bigwigs in Zamfara State, invite them, talk to them so they can have a common goal. But then what's your take on negotiating with bandits? Dialogue, do you think it's an option?
Well, I am not advocating for negotiating with the bandits, but I'm suggesting let's sit down and look at the whole issue holistically. Look at the areas we can negotiate on, and look the areas we cannot accommodate. Let's deal with the areas we can accommodate and forge on. And the areas that we cannot accommodate, we ignore it. And let's fight the bandits head on. That was what Mutawalla did, like I said. He negotiated, but when there was sabotage, he decided to put the negotiation aside and fought the bandits head on into their enclaves. And you have to cooperate with the security for you to get the necessary intelligence. You have to cooperate with the community leaders for you to get the necessary intelligence also and suggestions that can help in deal with the situation. And you have to deal with the Fulani leaders themselves, because they have very good suggestions that they can offer, which can help in dealing with the situation. But in a situation where you said, okay, I don't negotiate, and I don't invite people for discussion to put me through, and I don't even stay at home, and I don't even have any structure on ground that is pursuing this for me, then you are not doing justice to even the oath you have taken when you are sworn in as the governor. So for me, I'm not advocating for negotiating with the bandits, but I am advocating for looking at the negotiation concept itself and see where can we go and where can we not go, so that we take where we can go and deal with it.
All right. Former Governor Matawale has been accused of being close to bandits. How do you react to this?
Well, that is, like I told you, the political gladiators who are always trying to pull him down. It is those people he helped. He sponsored their campaign. He gave them tickets. They won elections. And they are the same people that are trying to pull him down. So it is nothing but a kind of complete hatred against the Minister of Defense, because everybody knows the Minister of Defense has been on top of issues, trying to deal with the situation and trying to ensure that the bandits are dealt with. Everybody is aware of how he used to send the security men, the military operatives, going all over the areas where this insurgency is taking place to bombard the enclaves of these bandits. And now being accused of having a relationship with the bandits, that is not true. It's unfounded allegation.
All right, we'll come back to Zamfara State, but Honorable, let's look at Northwest in general. Because early this month, Governor of Sokoto State, Diko said banditry is now business venture for some government officials, security personnel. I mean, he went on to say that with 500 naira, you can lure any child into banditry today. In Zamfara and Sokoto alone, over 10,000 people have been displaced between March and April this year. And I remember also that the governor of your state, Dadolawa, was at the forefront of moves by Northwest governors to tackle insecurity when he and his colleagues met with President Tinubu. I mean, talking about Northwest in general, why hasn't this situation improved?
Well, you see, like I told you, fighting banditry is not one-man show. It has to be a collective effort. And there has to be sincerity and honesty within the hearts, in the hearts of those people, the stakeholders. When I said conflict entrepreneurs, I mean a lot. Like I said, people who have a particular interest in fighting the banditry. And they will do all they could to ensure that their interest is protected. So we have to deal with them. And you cannot fight banditry by going to America for a seminar. How can you deal with the Nigerian situation, especially in the Northwest in America? The seminar the northern governors went to do in America is just a waste of resources, because it is rather better than they sit with their communities, let them understand what is the root cause of this problem and how do we deal with them. The community leaders will tell them, the bandits are with us, the informants are with us, the leaders are with us, everybody in the network of banditry is within our communities. And we all know them. So we can offer suggestions on how to deal with them. For me, there is no need for us to go to America to learn how to deal with bandits in Zamfara or in Katsina or in Sokoto. So let's be realistic. Let us be honest and sincere in dealing with the situation. So long we are after our political interests, not the community security, not the property, not the interests of, not the security of property of our citizens, then I don't think we are serious, and I don't think we will be successful in fighting the insecurity. So we have to be very serious. We have to consider the oath we have taken to protect the lives and property of our people, as the function of any government is the protection of lives and property. So when we cannot do the primary functions of protecting the lives and property of our people, then we have derailed from the oath we have taken, and we have not done justice to our people.
All right. The second part of that question was, Honorable, the second part of that question was the governor saying banditry is now business venture for some government officials and security personnel. In your own opinion, or rather in your own opinion, how do we fish out or deal with these saboteurs?
Well, like I said, we have to deal with them through the community leaders. The community leaders know each and every person that is involved in this banditry business and network. They all know them.
Right. So are you in support of the creation of
everybody within his domain? Sorry?
Are you in support of the creation of state police? Do you think this is the way to go for us?
Well, Zamfara State, we have created the Community Protection Guard during Matawalle time. When Dauda came, politics entered, he dropped them and appointed his. So if you create state police, you will cause dichotomy, because if this government of a different political party set up its police, then when another government of a different political party comes, it will drop the police and recruit its own. And you are breeding criminals, because people who know how to handle guns, and now you relieve them of their responsibilities, you relieve them of the source of getting income, then you create an avenue for them to enter into the criminal activities. So for me, it's nothing. I mean, it's not advisable. I don't buy the idea. But the idea is, let the leaders be honest and sincere. Let the security agencies be honest and sincere. Let the community leaders be honest and sincere. Let the religious leaders be honest and sincere. If all together be honest and sincere, I'm telling you, the issue of insecurity will be a history in Nigeria. But once all these classes are not serious, we are not sincere, forget about succeeding in fighting banditry in Nigeria.
All right, as we wrap up tonight, I mean, because they say when a state is secured, it gives room for other sectors to thrive. Would it be fair to give Governor Dauda Lawal some soft landing? I mean, insecurity in Zamfara State is no child's play. This may have crippled his ability to perform in other sectors. Do you agree?
Come again?
All right, so I was saying that insecurity in Zamfara State is no child's play. And I'm asking if it would be fair to give the governor some soft landing, because he's been dealing with insecurity in the last 1 year. So I'm asking, do you agree? I wanted you to assess the governor's performance in the last 1 year.
Well, to be honest with you, despite the fact that I am an opposition, but I sympathize with the governor because of the dilemma and the current situation he finds himself. I can assess him for trying to form the community protection guard, even though without proper training, without proper equipment, and without proper knowledge of how to deal with the situation in which today they are being killed in their numbers. But he has tried to make that organization. And number two, I can assess him in terms of trying to reach out to the security commands, seeking for supports, especially the National Security Advisor and the Defense Headquarters, the Chief of Defense Staff. I saw him there asking for their help.
All right, so I get that. Thank you so much. We're out of time. Okay. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I've been speaking with Honorable Ibrahim Dosara, former Commissioner for Information in Zamfara State. It's been a pleasure speaking with you tonight. Thank you so much, and I look forward to more conversations with you.
Thank you, Oladimuche.
Right, please have a great weekend. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. Use the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Have a great weekend.
Life in the open market for Epic 10X Challenge. My people, today now. Today.